can feel it down in my plums. When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, my young son Gabriel walks in.
Well, welcome back to Let the Boys Watch, an entertainment podcast brought to you by Going Great Productions. I'm Winnie, your co-host. My name is Robbie, and today we are back with our YouTube exclusive mini episode where we're still talking about the bear. And we're going to spend the next 15, 30 minutes discussing the FX/Hulu series, The Bear. We're talking about Season 3, Episode 3, Doors, and Episode 4, Violet. Alongside me, Mr. Cuz. Ben, how we doing?
Doing good. Craving a Chicago beef sandwich after watching our man struggle with them for 2 episodes, pretty much.
Don't get me started with that guy. That guy's in place. And alongside the cousin myself, one of our co-hosts and good friends, Ryan. How you doing?
Doors.
Hands.
No, I'm doing good. Hope you guys are doing good. And like Robbie said, it's an exclusive mini episode on the bear. So let's not waste any time and get into it. What do you guys think of these 2 episodes? Benny, why don't you start?
I think Doors gave me probably the most anxiety out of any episode in the show, and that includes the famous one take episode from season 1. There was just so many, like, it was so hectic in that episode from season 1, but episode 3 was like, oh my God, you could see the cracks in everybody's character, like what is driving everybody crazy. Yeah, so that was honestly the most stressful I felt watching the show. And then I feel like they took the temperature down again the next episode, which I feel like they've kind of done back and forth with these episodes, but 2 good episodes. I'm really liking where the season is going so far. There's some, again, we talked about it last week a little bit. There's some people out there that don't like the season from what I've seen online, but so far so good for me.
Yeah, agree. I mean, episode 3, I really enjoyed a lot. As someone who worked in several restaurants back in the day, I totally get that. Like, not only can you just see everyone's, the cracks starting to show, like you said, Benny, but like you can just see everyone just being worn down. Like, I just, it felt you just live there. It's Clopens nonstop. Close opens.
Yeah.
You're there to close. You open it again the next day. You have no life. But I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was very anxiety inducing. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And 4 also enjoyed it. It was like a little bit of a come down from 3, and we got a little bit less of the restaurant operation and more of some of the characters and them interacting and stuff like that, which I always enjoy. But yeah, no, I liked both of these episodes a lot.
Yeah, I liked episode 3. It was very, like you said, anxiety inducing. I love the editing of it, the quick cuts, different days in a restaurant, different problems. It's basically same shit, different day for everybody. I could see, I never worked in a restaurant, but I could see where it's not monotony, but like the same shit happening every day. People getting on your nerves. I mean, people getting on your nerves in a slow paced, office environment. I can imagine how they get on your nerves in a fast paced restaurant where everything needs to be out in a specific time or needs to be kind of perfect. The plate needs to be a certain way. Service needs to be a certain way. You're dealing with, customers. You're dealing with the people in the back. It's a lot. So, yeah, it was that's what this was like the bear episodes that I love. These anxiety-inducing episodes, these fast-paced episodes. The editing's quick. It's a lot of tension going on in the restaurant, so I do enjoy that. I mean, it started off great. Everybody going to Marcus's mom's funeral. I love that. Marcus is one of my favorite characters, and his eulogy to his mom is really heartwarming and nice. I'm glad everybody showed up. Even Carmi's fucking mellow ass, freaking annoying ass showed up. So that was nice to see him there. But yeah, it was a good episode. It's definitely what I'm used to with the bear, and what I love about the bear. An episode like this.
I think for me too, like the thing I got out of episode 4 is how much I love Richie as a character. Like not that he was meant to be annoying in the first season. Last season they pulled the layers of the onion back a little bit, but just how they did in this episode with him and Evie, and then him meeting Frankie, like there's just so much going on with Richie, and you could tell he's definitely matured as a person, but there's still a lot of hurt there. And I think they're just handling it really well with him. And shout out Josh Hartnett popping back up.
Yeah,
Guy's everywhere now on this show.
that can work.
So thank God. I mean, where's he been? But yeah, I think that was I Violet was okay for me. But again, the Richie aspect of it really I love. And yeah, he's an asshole in the first season and the second season, maybe up until Forks or whatnot, but you kind of understand that. It takes a lot to get to that. Not that I don't want to say that place of indifference, but it takes a lot to grow after what he's been through, right? His marriage fails. Now he's, sharing a kid with his wife, and that relationship, whether on the bench, was obviously kind of takes time to get to, where they aren't like in this lovey-dovey relationship where they do have love for each other, and they can co-parent in a good way. That takes time. So you're gonna get that. I'm sure he's been bitter a long time as to, he sees his wife marrying some rich, handsome Josh Hartnett type dude, and he's stuck in like an apartment, and he's not making, that type of money, and he's single. So there could be some trying to think of the word I'm looking for. Yeah, whatever. But there could be some kind of care. I don't know. I'm fumbling like Joe Biden right now, but I'm trying to remember the word. But there could be some stuff where he's going through some issues and pissed off about it. But I do like what Benny said. I do like his growth and the type of person he's becoming. Yeah, he's still a dick, of course. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere. But he's more mature, and I'm enjoying his arc.
Yeah. And the thing too with like Josh Hartnett's character is like you can tell obviously Richie's not happy, but they worked really hard at, when he opens the door, Taylor Swift is playing. He's got the painted nails. Like, like you could tell that he's connecting with Evie, and it even, I'm sure Richie is not thrilled with the situation in general, but I think he kind of recognizes too that, this guy's not he's treating my daughter right. And, he likes that about it. And you even get that when he opens up to Sugar and he's like, should I, just kind of bow out and just let them, is it weird for me to be around? It's just very deep. And there's a lot of stuff with Richie that, the character seems so, it seems very human, the way that he's reacting to everything.
I forgot what I was gonna say now with the Richie thing. Uh, Man, I forgot. Somebody else talks. So I can maybe remember what I was gonna say.
Well, what I was going to say about Richie in both episodes 3 and 4 is like in 4, you kind of get what we're talking about, where you see a little bit of the softer side of him, the sad side of him, the, philosophical side of him, maybe. And then in 3, when everything's high stress and he gets into the fight with Carmi and they throw the expo sheets all over the place. So you kind of like, you get both sides of him. And I think that's why he's one of, everyone's favorite characters, is because you're seeing so many sides of him, where some characters you're not getting that. I think they're trying to do that with as many characters as possible, but some of them you're not getting that. But Richie, you are, and you're kind of like rooting for him because he was such a dick in season 1, and then he's like making his way and he's improving. He works for 4 days in a nice restaurant. He cleans up his countertop last season for once. So yeah, I mean Richie's the best. Love
And
him.
I think too, even though he's an asshole to Carmi a lot in this season, at least you understand why.
Yeah.
Like there are things that Carmi is doing that you're like, okay, yeah, but I agree with Richie on this one. Whereas like it
Right.
felt like he was being a dick just to be a dick early on, like, oh, things are changing. I don't like that. And
Right.
now,
Or like
like,
jealousy or something. It's coming from somewhere negative.
yeah. And now
Yeah.
it's like, you know, when I worked in a restaurant, it was front of house, it was server, bartender, stuff like that. And there are things that the kitchen does that you're like, dude, you're screwing me right now. Like, I know either, you know, it's not I wasn't working in fine dining experience was where I was like, you need to get this out right now. I'm like, no, it needs to be perfect. No, they were dicking around in the back. Things weren't, you know, and you're like, dude, come on, man. Like, this is how I'm making my money. And Richie's whole thing is he's the driver of the experience of the restaurant. And you could see what Carmi's doing to kind of ruin that.
Yeah. And I also think it comes from like a place of love, like I mean, Carmi may be a little bit less so, but I feel like Richie still loves Carmi, but is just pissed off at him and wants him to like not be the way that he is.
Well, you're never going to fight with somebody that intensely if there's no like
True.
like love behind it. Like, you know, those are the people that you always get the most pissed at. Like when if it's just some dude that you work with, yeah, you're going to be annoyed. You might snap at them, but like after 2 minutes, you're like, you know what? This is not even fucking
I don't
worth
give a
it.
shit about this guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, I found out I was going to say, there's no way, kid or not, that I'm going to my ex-wife's wedding.
No.
So there's no way I'm RSVPing to anybody's ex's wedding at all. They can go scratch.
No. And again, I mean, that's just, you know, Frankie being, again, I think it's weird because you could take that two ways. Like, dude, why would you invite, you know, your ex's husband or ex-husband, excuse me. Why would you invite your wife's ex to the wedding? And then also like, you know, he's important to Evie and Evie's going to be there and it's a family thing, but yeah, you don't show up. You don't show up.
It was crazy how well acted the scene was when him and Evie are in the bed together. It felt like
Right?
those two were like actual like father and daughter. It really was a great scene and had a lot of emotion behind it. Even for the young actress, I was like, holy crap, this really feels like this is just, you know, somebody's just filming a real dad and daughter right now in this little intimate moment. It really was great.
What were they doing? Yeah.
Yeah. Are we seeing a renaissance of young actors, Robbie?
I think so. I mean, I think the casting directors in this generation are really bringing it because, I mean, 80s, early 90s. Please don't even get me started with the 70s and 60s. I mean, the young actors that we've come across have been atrocious. Sans Mac, Macaulay Culkin. But yeah, I mean, I'm back on the child acting bandwagon.
Nice.
I want to see them succeed. I want to see them go, and I don't want to see them face like the dilemmas that young child actors used to face.
Yeah, hopefully we're in a better place now. Do you guys, well, I'm the only one that really doesn't know the answer to this, so maybe I'll just give my opinion. I'm concerned about the review. I think I mentioned the fork being dropped on the floor and Richie, like they made a point of Richie just kind of staring and not like immediately going to pick it up. That could be something that they get dinged for as far as service wise goes. So I'm a little concerned about the review, but a lot of the outside information we've gotten, like the guy that meets Sid, you know, everybody seems to really enjoy the restaurant. They're booked every night. They're not really turning a profit at this point, to be expected with a fine dining restaurant until they start raising prices. But as far as the review goes, I'm on the fence as whether it's going to be good or bad.
Yeah. I had
I
a
got 4
manager
stars.
once that would put forks and stuff on the floor to see who would pick it up.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, that that's what Michelin reviewers are known for, is
Yeah.
they'll drop stuff on the floor to see how long it takes you to pick it up.
Stupid.
I'll do it next time I'm at a Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah, and you get better service.
Yeah, that's right. Good idea.
One of my favorite kind of throwaway lines is when Richie's talking to Sugar about Michelin. He's like, I'm a Pirelli man myself. I mean, and Goodyear's a good option, if you're living in Chicago.
Oh, speaking of that conversation, I wanted to ask you Italian boys, when he says mangia gats, what does that mean? Like, I didn't understand.
I forget the context. Like, I knew what it meant in the moment, but
Oh, okay.
I forget the context of it.
Context, it's kind of seemed like it was like trash, like garbage or bad or something, but
Yeah, it could have been.
I don't know.
Oh, it was
I'm
like the
more of a Mouchard guy.
Manjagats. You're a what?
Mouchard.
What's Mouchard?
I don't know, making it up. It's disgusting. Terrible.
Basura.
What I feel like, and then one of my favorite scenes, obviously, was my main man, Matheson, goes out there with the broth. Boys,
I'm pouring this in front of you.
Yeah. You know this is a restaurant, right? You know we serve food.
But then, like that's what I love about this show, the intensity and then that levity of comedy. I mean, it's fantastic. And also, I can two things with Sid. I can understand why she doesn't want to sign the contract and whatnot, and then I get it because everything that Carmi says he isn't or wants to be, he is, and I feel like he's more like Joel McHale's chef character than he wants to admit. So I don't know. I understand hesitancy because I feel like she doesn't get any love with the dishes. He doesn't give her any input or things like that. I mean, I get it. I get it from his point of view. But if he wants her to be a partner and he wants her to be included, then he should take some advice and get some advice from her and have her contribute. That's the only thing. I get where she's coming from. The other thing is, my man Adam Shapiro. Like, what's up with him? Just like, yeah, we got like 80K, and we got funding, we got all this stuff. Like, he's coming on way too strong for me.
I think you might have gone a little too far with that comment. I
Yes.
know that Adam
You did.
met her, and maybe I'll try to beep that out. Thanks for giving me more work. But I did get that vibe. The
That
vibe
didn't happen
when
before.
he met, he saw
He
her.
met her outside the subway.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, I
whatever
should have
it's
watched.
called.
Yeah,
But
but I
then
definitely
he kills it too. So sorry, Benny.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, fantastic. No, I got the vibe that Adam is going to prey on Sydney because he could smell the tension in the air between the two of them, and he values Sydney. So whatever comes of that, we'll see. But to your point about Carmi and Sid,
sorry, really quick with
Yeah.
him, just two things. One, he said he was in there. I find it extremely hard to believe that Richie didn't notice him.
yeah,
Like, oh, I was with the group. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I still can see people in a group.
yeah,
And it all kind of connecting with what Robbie was saying too, where this was early on. The dish he had was probably something that Sydney had worked on, and he complimented that dish. So Sydney was kind of like, see, like someone else noticed that my contributions are good. And he even said, like, it wasn't Carmi's dish. I don't know what it was. That kind
yeah. And I think like with Carmi and Sid, like I think Carmi wants to be the best version of himself with Sydney than I think anybody else. Like he kind of dismisses Richie, even Sugar, like doesn't. But I think the intention is there with Sid to make her a partner, but he's just so up his own ass right now that he's the only person that he's thinking about, and he thinks, oh, well, I can change Sid's dish because if Sid changed my dish, I'd be okay with it, which is not true. because like when he made the list of non-negotiables, like, oh, be flexible, deciding it. So I think he's not understanding what he's doing to Sid, because when Sid says something to him, he apologizes or says, I'm going to work on it and change or do something. But yeah, he's definitely pushing her away.
Yeah, and like just quickly too, like with episode 4 in the beginning, like I get the flashbacks, but like what are we doing with Claire? Like what's the point of all this? What's the point of the flashbacks? Um, yeah, the hand, I get it. The story that she tells, like what is it? Like I don't want these things to just like lead to nowhere if you're gonna just like waste my time with, 5 minutes when somebody can making uh a souffle or something like that and yelling at each other, which I'd rather have. Like I don't understand like why we're getting this if it potentially leads to nowhere or it goes somewhere. I don't know. I just I find these specific things annoying when I'm watching TV shows.
Yeah, she's just like, I mean, the one person that would put up with Carmi's shit for the most part. And like, for some reason, he pushes everybody away. But I think that's probably going to end up being his biggest mistake, is pushing her away.
Possibly.
That's true.
Or, I mean, he's kind of pushing everyone away at this point. So
yeah, but I think out
hopefully
of everyone, like, yes, professionally, these people are bad to push away. But she, like I said, she was kind of the one person that knows him from when he was a kid, so she maybe understands a little bit more what he's about, and he could gain so much more from that relationship in his personal life than anything that he can get from the restaurant.
agree. I don't know. We
Stu
shall
not.
see.
You know what that means?
I do know what that one means.
I know I am one.
Just do not. He's pushing everybody away with his fucking new menu every day, which again is
Ugh.
the craziest thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
It's insane. It's insane for so many reasons. Costs, the fact that him and Sydney are the only trained chefs in that whole place. I mean, maybe one or two other ones that they hired that are no names or whatever, but like everyone else worked in a sandwich shop. Not saying that they
I
can't
know.
do it, but
I know. I feel so bad for Jeff every time she's making something, and
Tina,
like, yeah, you could see that she's
struggling.
buckling under the
Yeah.
pressure.
And he
and
keeps
that's
yelling at her, refire,
yeah,
refire. Like,
and that's not her fault. I mean,
no.
Tina, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
The best.
best. I don't know, anything else from these 2 episodes? Very enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm so far 4 episodes in. I know you guys are past it, but good season so far. I had to stop myself from watching a few more episodes. I do want to keep myself fresh for these YouTube exclusives for the fans. I want to keep myself fresh. But yeah, I'm excited to keep going. Quickly jumped over the boys for me.
Mm.
We'll see. I haven't watched the latest episode of The Boys because I wanted to watch The Bear instead.
Wow.
And we weren't going to talk about The Boys, so.
Wow.
Oh, look at you, huh, Mr. Smarty Pants. Ryan was itching to spoil The Boys for me. Itching.
I know, that's why I had to get
I
that
was
in there.
not.
You never asked me to watch The Boys.
I know, because I want to talk about it.
That's like if we were FaceTime and you'd be like this. Got more than boys
Benny,
episodes.
don't make this the thing.
I won't. Or will I?
I can't wait to talk about. I mean, Boys still isn't over, but I'm curious to see what everyone thinks.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Send us an
Boys,
email.
Bear, House of
The
the
email
Dragon,
is right there
somewhere.
on the screen. It's right there. And that's the
Boys,
Instagram.
Bear.
Follow the Instagram.
Bogies. Tell us your favorite bogies, Newports, Marble Lights.
Parlays, babe.
Oof.
Recess filter.
Virginia Slims, whatever you like. So let us know.
Whatever you want. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching. We love you. Yeah, let us know. Send us a message. Put a comment down there. Anything else? Robbie, tell him good night.
Good night, Richie. Yeah.
Yeah?
Good night, Richie. I was gonna say it too. Love you.
Yeah.
Down in my
Yeah?
plums.
Yeah.
Yeah?
When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, and my young son Gabriel walks in. My wife said, "No, Gabriel, leave." I said, "No, let the boy watch. Let the boy watch. He needs to learn the way I learned from my father, the way he learned."